welcome to a very chilly marine travel ground. We've decided to park ourselves just before the game near the marquee here at Canterbury Rugby Club. Reason being, the stuff that these guys do, and I don't think we really have the ability so far to have told you much about it, but the food here is phenomenal. So if you ever come down for one of the match days, and you have the wonderful opportunity to be in here with it's about 220 odd people in there today, you will not be disappointed. Now, I can certainly tell you about one particular event which happened to me when I was in there on my birthday last year. Well, actually, I can't really tell you too much about it because I remember going in there, I remember coming back out, I remember just about getting to the bar, and I only just about remember us beating Barnes right at the death. So therefore, it must have been a cracking evening and a cracking afternoon in there. What I can tell you about these guys is and I've been around this, around this kind of rugby circuit now for around about maybe 10 years or so. I don't think I've ever felt as welcome or as at home in any other rugby club than this club here. Now, that's not me dissing any other rugby clubs at all, because there are some fantastic ones out there. I particularly remember Hull Ionians is a really lovely place to go as well. But in here, they do it really well. Food's fantastic. There's a great raffle going on in there. And our chairman of rugby, Giles Hilton's in there. And I'd like to say that his language is slightly blue. It's probably the nicest way of putting it. But it's an absolutely wonderful event down here. So what can I tell you about today? Well, guys, you know what? I was up here yesterday in the morning having a wonderful breakfast at the actual clubhouse here. The pitch was absolutely, completely and totally white. It was solid. So they've done an absolutely amazing job to turn around from what it was on about 8:30 yesterday to how it is out there to be playable now for these players, which is absolutely a testimony to ultimately the ground staff that we have here, but also all the other members who would have chipped in over the last 24 hours to make sure that this game was playable for us. Well, what can I tell you about Henley, who are here today against Canterbury? Well, Henley, I've known now for around about, as I said, about 10 years because I've been in this circuit. Henley Hawks have been a perennial, fantastically strong side. They have yo-yoed a little bit more recently in terms of where they used to be. They were in National 1 and they were in there, I believe, for around about 5 or 6 years before they've hit this yo-yo period. Now, this seems to happen quite a lot at this kind of level. And I think what it comes down to is, unfortunately, it's just how the funding comes down to us from the RFU. And if you don't get that right, then you hit this yo-yo effect. Now, I do think that there's plenty more to come from both teams today. Henley is sitting 7th at the moment with 7 wins and 5 defeats. I don't think that's where they would have seen themselves at the beginning of the season. If we go back to just 2 years prior, when Canterbury went up that season, Henley were with us the whole way throughout that season, along with Tonbridge Julians. The one thing that I can tell you is that Henley will not give up, and I do honestly believe that today's fixture will probably come down to the smallest of margins, and it may well just be the last five or 6 minutes of the game itself in the second half, which may well tell us who's going to win today. Obviously, I've got my Canterbury hat and I've got my Canterbury scarf on, so obviously I'm hoping for a Canterbury win here. But I've just been watching both sets of teams out there during their warm-up, and that Henley pack is quite monstrous. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how that plays out for us today. What else can we tell you about Henley? Well, Henley on Thames. So roughly about 9 miles away from Reading. It's a wonderful place to go. I'm pretty sure they have a rowing museum. That's got to be fun. On top of that, what else can I tell you about it? Well, I've been up there a few times with Isha previously. Really great hospitality, lovely little stand up there. I think the actual stadium holds about 3,000 odd people or so, which is quite a testament because the actual Henley itself as a town isn't overly huge. It only holds around about 12,000 people. So it's great that they have a wonderful, wonderful level of support of their rugby club. Similar to ourselves here. And obviously we know that Canterbury, we're kind of not where we want to be in the table either. Obviously, we're right down towards the bottom here at the present time. If we don't get them in today and certain other results go the opposite way for us, then we are going to find ourselves in the relegation zone. Not a place we'd want to be at this time of the season. Obviously, we have one extra game to go before the Christmas break. We've got Tonbridge Julians away next week, of which we hope we will go there and hopefully turn over what happened to us earlier on in the season up here by them. In terms of the team news, not too many changes. We're just literally now waiting for the final team news to come through, because there are a couple of fitness tests going out there. And I know there has been one change on the Canterbury lineup. Was our captain, mercurial captain, Jamie Stevens. He's now unfortunately injured and he's unable to play. So in a couple of minutes' time, when I get myself back over to where I normally am, I'll go through the team sheets quickly for you. Final thing from me quickly whilst I'm still here, just behind us at the marquee here. Just want to mention all this streaming is brought to you live by MMS 360 Media. We are very, very fortunate to have these guys helping us go through the whole season, and we really have had a great relationship so far. And as Limmers and me discussed at the end of last week when we were out here, we were talking about how it's getting better and better, and hopefully you guys can see that too. So without further ado, I'm going to just sign off here, going to get myself back over to my commentary position, and I'll see you for the kick-off.
1, 2, 3. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Marine Travel Ground for today's game against Henley Hawks, and welcome to everybody from Henley who's made the trip from the Thames Valley. I think we're pretty lucky to get a game today because there's a lot of cancellations all over the place, so it's a bonus for everybody, I think, today, and thanks to both the teams for saying yes, this game is on. And before we start, a little thank you to our match sponsor today, Harwood Building Control. And of course, we've got several match ball sponsors in Cave Hotel and Golf Resort, DDS Group.
Thank you, mate. Go for it.
Yeah. And for those who find themselves in the sin bin, there's the...
Hello, guys. And here I am back in my normal spot here at the Marine Travel Ground, up at the top of the mounts, which leads us down to the pitch here. So, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? Well, here we are. We've got the team sheets here. So our team sheets we got today up front for Canterbury is Billy Young with Nathan Morris and Danny Herriot. Then we got Dave Irvine, Jesse DeFries back in the row with the back three of Jacob Dengate, Cam Murray and Brick Tyler Oliver. We've got Tom Williams back at 9 with Frank Reynolds alongside him, with Guy Hilton on the left wing, Tommy Best and Tom Halliday in the middle, and Frank Morgan out on the right, and Will Waddington at fullback. There has been a small change in terms of the replacements here, so unfortunately for us, Elliot Lusher's had to make a change. Unfortunately, his ankle's just not quite right for this the hard ground out here today. So coming in for Elliot Lusher is Owen O'Donoghue. The other boys that we've got on the bench, we've got Ross Gladish, Harvey Furno, Ben Cooper and Cam McMillan. So we're looking forward to our players really pushing themselves on a little bit today. What I'd be looking for, I think, more than anything else, is that I would like just to see Will Woodington get himself in the game a little bit more, because so far this season, whenever I've seen him play, I've really liked the way in which he hangs on the shoulder. He's always looking for that little pop pass, which is great. That's the kind of ball you want when you've got these, when you want to go attacking. And I think we're just losing him a little bit at fullback. So it'd be interesting to see if he can get himself into the game a bit more and get his hands on the ball. Because I think he is a very dangerous player and a player that we really need to continue to push further forward this season. In terms of the Henley team, well, I'll quickly run through them for you. They've got David Manning at 1, Morgan McRae at hooker, Henry Penrose at tight head. In the row, they've got Ben Harrison and Omar Alabuhi. Then you've got on the back three, Tom Voigt, Scott White and Sam Lunnan. Then you've got the halfback partnerships of Ewan Fenley, Max Titchener. On their left wing is Ryan Crowley. In the middle of the park, in the centres, is Adam Hakaman, Lewis Flynn. On the right, Seb Scott and fullback George Wood. Now, I already spoke to you guys briefly just a couple of minutes ago, back when we were next to the wonderful marquee where we do all of our wonderful event hosting, and I'm really going to be really intrigued actually by this game, because I think both clubs, Henley and Canterbury, are not where they should be in the league so far this season. Obviously they're pushing themselves both in certain ways. I mean, in terms of Canterbury here, we're looking to consolidate ourselves this season. We've been blooding in a lot of young players, and hoping obviously to push on further in the future. But with Henley and the way in which they've been such a kind of powerhouse at this kind of level, I feel that sitting 7th in the league's just not cutting it for them. They've had 7 wins so far, as I said. They've had 5 defeats. They have come back from last week playing at home against Rochford 100, and that does make a change because normally I say Rochester rather than Rochford, so it is Rochford 100. So what I'm going to have here is with Rochford is that they won 32 points to 22, which I think is a fairly decent scoreline for them, scoring 5 tries in the way. And I think they just need to continue to push themselves a little bit further forward, because I do think that the Henley team and the players that they've got there in particular are a hell of a lot better than that we actually do give them credit for and what the league is suggesting. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out for us today. So from what I can see over here, the players are now just beginning to come out, because I can see our wonderful director of rugby, Corker, just walking across the field. And as you can hear, the fans are just giving themselves a little bit of a clap as the players are coming out to the stands here right now.
And from Canterbury, led today by Tom Best.
So as you can hear from what we were just saying here, Tommy Best is our captain for today, and he's leading the team out.
And your officials again. Jack Sutton, your referee. Assistant, Paul Clayton, and Andre Funzel. Enjoy the game, everyone.
So it looks like the Canterbury are going to be going uphill this year. Sorry, not this year. At the beginning of this half. A little bit different to what we've been seeing more recently with those guys, because more often than not, Canterbury like to kind of be going down pitch to start off with. So it's just a bit of a change. Henley are in their change strip, because they're normally in their green and yellow, so today they're in their blue. So we're just going to see how this all pans out nicely for us today. So Canterbury with the kick-off. Henley rose up there nicely, the Henley second row there to secure the ball. As I said, Henley going downhill first half. Looking for the archetypal clearance there. Being collected brilliantly actually by their right winger there to get his hands on the ball from that kick. Ball still being recycled through here. Nice handoff. First early exchanges going Henley's way. They've secured ball so far, just trying to build through some phases. Happy to attack from left to right as we're looking at it. Fairly decent quick ball. Possible unforced error there, just purely from the Canterbury line in terms of the defensive line, stepping up, just putting them under pressure. Frank Reynolds with the early kick there, get themselves down the line a little bit. Just inside the 22, good, hopefully a decent attacking platform from here. Slightly shortened line out from Canterbury, 5 men in the line out. Probably looking for a lot to get. Jesse DeFreeze's gone up there. Ball is secure just about. Taken from the back. Brick Tyler's found the line. He's going straight for that left winger. Clearly thinking that's a weakness. Ball out to Danny Herriot. Good hard yards from Danny Herriot. Get that ball cleared. Nice quick ball out to the backs. Frank Reynolds pulling the strings, going out wide. Is there a gap? Oh! I tell you, very hard to see from this angle. Referee's giving it. That is a fantastic start for Canterbury here. Up the hill. 3 minutes in, great work from the line out itself. A big carry from Danny Herriot. Frank Reynolds then orchestrating things, getting the ball out wide for them to scoot in under, just over the line there. Fantastic effort. Frank Reynolds now just lining up for the kick. It's unfortunate there from Frank Reynolds. Just a slight shank there. Just faded away towards the left post. Five up. Canterbury lead by 5.
For number 13 for Canterbury, Tom Halliday takes it to 5-0.
Fairly deep start there from Henley. Ball's been retained by Canterbury. They're just going to hopefully build through the phases here. I think there for me the kick should have been a little bit longer there from for Frank Reynolds there, just to put the players under pressure. Canterbury need to be mindful there, yeah, and the referee's just pulled him on it, coming in from the side there. Fairly decent clearance kick there from Henley, get themselves down into Canterbury territory here. So, first line out for Henley to come. They've gone for the long ball, but it's been... Oh, it was nearly taken by Canterbury at the back there. Henley have just about got the ball under control. Canterbury seem to be disrupting the breakdown a bit here, but again, the guard's gone missing. The guard's gone missing, and that's what happens. We spoke about this quite a few games so far this season. It's the guard, the dog around the ruck. Canterbury have been exposed there yet again. Henley scored underneath the post there. Fairly easy conversion to come here from Henley. Tiny little chip over there for the Henley kicker there. Henley now leading 7 points to 5. It's a great response from Henley, to be honest with you, from going from 5-0 down there. So both teams, both times, getting into the red zone, which obviously the red zone we're calling it from the 22 to the try line, and converting both times, and both tries coming from the line out as well.
By Max Titchener. Canterbury 5, Henley.
Frank Reynolds with a restart. That's a nice short restart. Could be contested. Billy Young with the tackle. Good stuff there from Billy Young. Canterbury securing the ball. Sorry, Henley securing the ball there. Not the greatest clearance kick there. It is challengeable. Handsome Canterbury. So it looks like it will be should be a Henley throw in here. No. I must have missed a knock on there originally from Henley for it to then come off the Canterbury hand, because we've now got a scrum down here. Favourite time of the game for me, always a favourite time, the scrum. Generally speaking, most referees will be looking at seeing 6 shoulders trying to drive straight. They don't really get taught about the dark arts, and as such, referee's given a half penalty here to Henley. I think he was calling there for early engage. So Henley have gone for a classic old school up and under there. The ball has bounced in Henley's favour there, off Brick Tyler's hands. Henley pushing themselves now down deep into Canterbury half. The midfield player Adam Hakimian, I think is the correct pronunciation there. Looks to be quite a busy player, wants to get his hands on the ball, wants to try and do something. So what I'm finding so far in these early exchanges with Canterbury and Henley at the moment is it is a little bit cagey. Neither team have really got into a huge amount of flow or really kind of dominating any aspect of the game so far. Be interesting to see if the referee's going to let this scrum actually play out, because then we can get a bit of an indication of what I was talking about prior to the game in terms of the Henley pack, because the Henley pack look quite monstrous out there, big chaps. Ball in. Slight wheel there. Referee's calling it up, saying that both. He's saying that both rows stood up. He's going to go for a reset. Also have a quick lull. Just want to say that the match sponsors today is Harwood, along with the ball sponsors of B&M, BTF Partnership, Cave Hotel and Golf Resort, and the DDS Group. And remember, all this wonderful streaming is brought to you from MMS 360 Media. Now that is one heck of a scrum from Canterbury. Well, that's exactly what you want to see. Ball comes in, great push. Absolutely splintered through the Henley front row. Referee has no choice but to give a full penalty. Let's hope that Frank Reynolds gets a decent clearance kick into the Henley half now. Slightly conservative one from Frank Reynolds. Halfway though. Happy with that. Obviously slightly different kind of combinations here at line out for Canterbury today, as Jamie Stevens being injured, so we're probably going to see Jesse DeFries go up a fair bit more. That was a quick front pod ball there to Cam Murray. Great hand pick up from Frank Reynolds there. Tom Williams now begin to orchestrate play inside again. Great clearance again. Will Waddington, see, as I said prior to the game, if Will Waddington can get his hands on the ball, that's where the chances are. Rick Oliver with the old classic Samoan sidestep. Tommy Best, always running into traffic, wants to take them on up front. Billy Young with another big carry, that's his second of the day. Frank Reynolds, now they're coming out from left to right. Lucky enough for me, I've just been kind of accompanied, shall I say, by my dear friend Limmers. How was the lunch, Limmers?
Always a classic in the rugby club. Cracking spread as always, and it looks like it's going to be a good game here. I've missed a couple of early tries, a couple of early punches either way. Canterbury on the ascendancy up the hills. Good to see, Clemmy.
Mate, it certainly is, absolutely. I mean, very interesting that Canterbury have actually started quicker than they have done over the last couple of weeks. Great first try, coming directly from first time into the red zone. Line out one, just literally played across from Frank Reynolds, and we scored on the far side.
And then we got the penalty here. Frankie's going to put it in the corner, and Canterbury going to run the line out over from ball, I reckon.
And hopefully, the lovely assistant referee in front of us isn't going to fall over us either.
These are the moments in the game that will start to matter.
Yeah.
I know it's really early. I've only just joined you. I was a bit late on the mic. But these moments when you've got a scrum on their opposition 5, it's what you do from that. Is what turns the tide of the game.
Absolutely, completely and totally. What's going to be really interesting, I think, for Canterbury today is because Jamie Stevens been ruled out, causes different issues for them at the line out, because he is normally their go-to guy.
Yeah, no, and he's an organiser as well. He is a big part of the setup for a young guy. He'd been in and around that line out situation for a long time. But back to the moment in hand, Guy Hilton flying down the wing here. Canterbury going through the hand, going through the phases. On the 22 here.
It's almost as if they actually want to keep running because it's so bloody cold out here.
It is absolutely free. That is a
lovely
lovely inside ball by Frankie there. And Canterbury get the penalty again. We're getting into a situation. It's only 2 penalties here, Clemmy, but we're getting into a situation where you go, how many? How many is too many?
Well, exactly that. And I can only say that they must get pinged in the next 2 if there's another 2, especially in the red zone.
And number 8 from Henley stood in front of us here, and he looks very cold. He doesn't even look like he wants to be out there.
Are you trying to play mind games, Limmers?
No. I'm just happy that I'm here with my hat and gloves and my big warm coat, and I'm not out there in my t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, I'd rather not as well.
Yeah, it's not warm out there today. So I know all across East Kent today, to put this in perspective, games are being called off all across the county. Pitches are frozen. Our top pitch above us here to our right-hand side, Clemmy. It's got a big muddy patch in the middle. That is frozen solid. It's like being on a bloody car park. So we're lucky to have some rugby in front of us here today.
Thank you. Nice kick, Frankie Reynolds.
As Frankie slots a free, and then that puts Canterbury back in the lead. Up the hill. Henley this season have been a force to reckon with at home. However, on the road, they cannot string results together. They've been up and down, more down than up. And speaking to their chairman pre-match, he is really concerned about how they play. I don't know whether it's just the nature of being away from home. They're not used to they don't like the home support, or they're just not used to playing on different grounds. But this is a real opportunity here for Canterbury to get amongst them.
No, absolutely. But I mean, before the kick-off, I was watching both teams warming up, and I personally felt that the Henley pack is very big, almost monstrous to a degree. So I actually thought I was going to see a little bit more just ball going into the tight 8, to be honest with you. But both teams have been throwing it out here, there, and everywhere. But Henley in particular, as you're saying there, Limmers, is that they're sitting themselves 7th in the league. I don't think they would be remotely happy about being sat in 7th at December.
No, they're a big side, Henley. Pay big money, decent club. Not as good as Canterbury, but they're decent.
Yep.
Their setup is very good. They would not be happy about that at all. So now here we go, Canterbury on the ascendancy. Decent kick, you have to say, on the bounce. It's not going out on the full, so here we go, Canterbury. A good defensive set here.
Yeah, you can hopefully want that. What I was, whilst you were enjoying yourself inside, having a wonderful lunch, having a wonderful...
I never enjoy myself. I'm just out there getting the inside intel from their chairman. Just because I'm in there having a beer and a dinner doesn't mean I'm enjoying myself. I'm taking one for the team, I'm getting that inside gossip.
Well, you keep taking them for the team, and it's absolutely fine by me. But what I was saying was that what I find really interesting so far is that last home game we were here as well, Will Waddington at fullback. Yeah. Okay, so we had a brief chat about it, right?
I think he had a great game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think he still needs to come off from fullback. He needs to get into the line more, because I just feel that when he's got his hands on the ball, good things happen.
Yeah, there's people. Yes. When they get the ball in their hand, magic happens. There was a chap who played here many moons ago. You might remember him, called Martin Beaumont. Ooh. Now manager, captain, leader extraordinaire of Dover. And when he's one of those guys that when he got the ball in hand, anyway, quick penalty, and Henley are off our way. But when he gets the ball in hand, he's one of those players when you go, I don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
He can run through people, he can offload it, he can pass it wide, he can chip and chase. And Will is one of those moulds. Mossy, for injured, unfortunately, away at the moment. He falls into that category a little bit. Not so extraordinary with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
But when he got the ball in hand, it makes things happen. And as an spectator, Clement, it's exciting to watch when you see these people.
Oh, you definitely you want these kind of people down here. I mean, we can talk. I mean, I can talk and probably bore people about National One and how when you go up into that league, they almost all play exactly the same type of rugby. It's all played to type. It's kick to the line. It's have a good line out. Are you strong at the scrum? Keeping it tight, not playing expansive rugby. But the moment I came down to Canterbury about 5 years ago now, the first game I was down here, I was up in the tower videoing it. Kick-off comes down. I'm like, yeah, I can video rugby. It's a piece of cake. I just follow the ball. Hang on a minute. Canterbury decided to run from their 22 from the kick-off.
Yeah, so there's nature and nurture, isn't there? Like Canterbury, the nature of Canterbury isn't that we're going to crash it up the middle. The style of play that the club wants to present, from children when you're 6 years old all the way up to when you're big and ugly in the tooth like me, is that we want you to play. We want to play rugby. We want to get the ball. We want to run hard and cause trouble.
Yeah.
Whether that's the nature of that we don't have good kickers or not is a different thing. But it's exciting to watch nonetheless, and it makes a good spectacle, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and I think it's one of the things that when you start getting your coaching badges, one of the first things they're telling you is not to run into a person, but actually to run into space.
Yeah, so that's
it makes perfect sense.
12 here, he's hit the outside shoulder of the Canterbury 13. I can't see who it is. Is that Tom Halliday?
13th is Tom Halliday, yes.
Yeah. So what he's done there is beautiful. He's basically pulled Tom to the side and hit his outside shoulder, so the whole defence has had to shift over, and it creates a massive gap. Canterbury did really well to read it and covered it nicely. Henley pushing down this blind side here, which is not something you usually see.
No, what's frustrating me here, though, Limmers, so far, I mean, their first try in particular, again, it's the guards round the ruck. That's where the space is, and they just keep finding it all the time.
Yep, so Danny Harriott there missed a bit of an absolute sitter of a tackle. I don't like to call people out, and I feel a little bit mean for it, but a bit of a bouncer there, a bit of bumper cars in the midfield. And then Henley is spinning it wide, and they're just going to dot it down here. Outside. Yeah, good finish. Oh, flags up. Unbelievable defensive effort there. I can't see who it is on the far side, but I can hear that Chairman Giles Hilton is very happy with that defensive effort.
In theory, should be Guy, right? On the left?
Yeah, but
he's switched over to the right,
Guy switched over to our near side.
So Frankie Morgan must be out there.
Yeah. Here come the Canterbury boys trying to warm up in front of us here, and it's a long way to get warm. I can tell you that.
Well, I've decided to go with only 7 layers today. Was that? Yeah, only 7. Only 7. I mean, technically, I could probably include 8 with the natural layer that I have, but I'm not going to go with that. I mean, I don't think people need to know that I get asked to take off my jumper before I jump in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
But there we are. All I'm going to say is you don't see me, Sean Connery, and the Abominable Snowman in the same photo. We are one of the same.
No, that's true. And anyway, in things that never happened, we're going back to Clemmy again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so anyway, Canterbury have got a line out on their own 5 here. This is important that they really secure this. Last one in front of us here.
Yeah, deep ball.
Ooh, Tommy Williams does well to pick up on the pieces there.
So that's a good carry from Brick there.
Once again, I have to put it out there, Clemmy. This setup from MMS 360,
it's lovely.
I've got this massive screen here in front of me. I can see all of the action. They've got cameras in all angles I couldn't even think of, and they have just got everything covered. It's absolutely amazing.
But what's even better, though, what's even better this week, we've got a special light to make ourselves look really handsome.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone wants to look at that, but everything else that they've got going on out here is really, really special. It's just a pleasure to be part of. And that is not a pleasure to watch for a Canterbury defence. He's carrying the ball in 2 hands, which is always tricky. So, as a defensive unit, someone carrying the ball in 2 hands, you never know if they're going to shift it or if they're going to drop a shoulder and take you into contact. What happened there? Canterbury just didn't even buy the tackle, and he just drifted all the way through, and Henley go ahead again.
I think for me the most frustrating thing there is that when you go through, is that there was almost a lack of care from from those still in the Canterbury defensive line to actually apply the pressure to make them dot down out wide.
Yep.
Both times, straight underneath the post. It's 4 points given.
Yeah, I don't like to say it because as you know, Clemmy, I love the club, but at the moment there is a culture, I believe, of feeling to lose in this first team. It's, like, the guys out there individually are special guys.
Yeah.
They all play some terrific rugby. However, at the moment, it's just not clicking. And you know when things don't go your way, and your head drops. 3 or 4 years ago, okay, when Canterbury were pushing for that playoff space, which they ultimately secured and then got into that one, when things weren't going their way, they knew that it was going to come back. It was self-belief.
Yeah.
At the moment, that fire is just not burning. And which that really hurts individually. That hurts your self-belief. I've been there. I've been part of teams similar to this, you know. And when things aren't going your way, it takes a lot of work to bring it back the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been part of sides as well, so you just find it hard to win sometimes.
You do, and you go with yourself. Before the kick-off, you're saying to yourself, it's a completely different game. What's happened has happened. I can't control the past. But what happens is that little bounce which doesn't go your way, it bounces into somebody else's hands. They scoot over, or you knock on 2 yards out. You then start going, "Jeez, it's happening again. Why is it always me?" And that mindset. It just starts to naggle at you.
But it quickly changes. So that's the thing that Canterbury need to really focus on. That it quickly does change.
So really, it's all about that next
so
big
here we
hit,
go.
isn't it?
This is it. This a big ball carrier, a big drive. You know.
Will Waddington. Frankie Reynolds has seen something, wants to bounce. So he's called the mark.
A little bit short on the boot.
I'd say he's done well there, the Canterbury fullback. Henley fullback, my apologies.
Frankie saw it, and his vision was exquisite to see the gap. For me, the kick was either too long or too short. Too short in terms of it needs to drop outside the 22, or too long, or it needs to come and find us in the corner. But the vision from Frankie there was exquisite to see the space, and now we're spinning it wide, and we're going to cause trouble again. Well, I hope we are.
Yeah. Big Frank Morgan taking them on. Gotta say, I do love the way in which he just wants to go into people, Frank Morgan.
Yeah, there's people that play rugby, okay, Clemmy, that just want to run at people. I'm not one of those people. I can tell you that for free. I like green grass, and I like a little bit of white chalk. Like Guy Hilton here. Like a little bit of space, and like seeing some green grass in front of you. Not like brick here. Bosh. No. Thank you very much. Cheers for coming.
I tell you what, Dave Irvin's doing exceedingly well there to keep hold of the ball from that pass. Billy Young, so pushing it there.
One criticism, Clemmy, that I've made in the past, and I'll put my hand up and say I've made it of Canterbury, is that I don't think as a 15 they're fit enough. Yet today here, up the hill, in the cold, they're really, really turning on the gas and putting Henley to the sword. They're going left to right. They're using every single blade of grass.
Absolutely.
They're using the whole width of this pitch.
What I'm liking seeing is actually the amount of forwards who are wanting to actually get their hands on the ball as well, and just take up the extra couple of yards.
I don't know whether they've
go on, Danny.
Don't know whether they've listened to my terrible commentary and thought, you know what, Limmer, I'm going to show you what for.
Well, I'm hoping they've gone. Go on, Brick. Good show and go from Brick. Tom Halliday. He's going to be isolated though. He's going to be called, isn't it?
Yeah, they got the turnover, but what are they going to do with it here? Straight out.
Shank on the full.
Yeah, so that means... Okay.
Taking in though?
Okay, Henley turned the ball over, and that was a great turnover. We can't take anything away from there. We'll come back to that in a second, why the ball was turnover, but it wasn't a great exit.
No.
We've still got the offensive ball on the edge of their 22. Going back to the turnover there, Clemmy.
Yeah.
Why did it happen?
Well, unfortunately for us, I mean, it's a fantastic break, and let me point out by Tom Halliday, great break. But the problem is he didn't have any support runners with him.
Yeah, correct.
Gets himself isolated.
Correct.
He tried his best, but...
And now this is exciting stuff from Canterbury, spinning it wide. We've got Frankie isolated on that far side. I don't know what Canterbury have seen to switch Guy and Frankie on the wings here.
Yeah, they certainly
something
have.
must have happened technically amongst them to decide we're going to do that.
Ooh. It's going to have to go.
Little Tom Halliday causing a little bit of trouble there on just inside their 22. Canterbury are testing the defence here.
Again, however, left to right, left to right.
Yeah, they're making them work really hard.
Good line from Billy Young there.
We've got to be quicker. Canterbury have got to be quicker.
Offside again. So that's now the third. That's now the third one in the red zone.
Yeah. But we've had a bit of time.
But it's not consistent.
Had a bit of time there.
Yeah.
A little bit of cool down period. As you see, Canterbury boys just trying to get loose here. So Canterbury have got a line out here. We're pushing on the 5 metre line.
So
Nathan Morris, experienced dart thrower.
Shortened line out again.
Thrower. Jesse's up. Darts aren't good.
Now apply the pressure though. You don't want him to get her out of there.
That is an exquisite 1-2 step from the hooker there.
Yeah.
He picked the ball up in the dead ball zone and he found himself 15 yards there, Clemmy.
Easy. It's not an easy position to be in either, is it? I mean, he's really under the pump.
So line out. Canterbury's line out isn't working quite right at the moment. Is it the ball? Is it the jumpers? Is it a mixture? Talk to me.
Well, for me, from what I'm seeing so far, Lim, is I personally think there's a little bit too much movement. I think there's too much movement in the line out. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of fake plays, a lot of fake shows and goes. I personally prefer to see pick your spot, get the man up, and
there
actually
we
play.
Go. That is beautiful. Unfortunately, it's dumped right at Tommy Williams' feet, and he does beautifully to pick it up. The thing, Canterbury's line-outs generally are a piece of artwork. This season always not necessarily has worked as well as they wanted it to. But that's the beauty of having Matt Corker as head coach, who is a line-out specialist.
Exactly, that is the beauty of it. And I think they've changed dramatically in the last few years. In fact, it was never always, it wasn't always a strong point of Canterbury's. But in the last couple of years, it has got better and better and better. I mean, I remember the first try when we were back in National 1 came from a rolling ball, directly from the line-out.
Yeah, no, correct. But so Canterbury applying the pressure here again, up the hill.
God, Billy! Good hands, get it out wide. Numbers! If he can line him up!
Great.
How has he got through three? Interesting call there from the referee.
Yeah. So basically, Tommy Best was on the floor with the ball.
How the heck has he stolen it from there?
We go. This is going to be a big chase.
Go on, Tom. Keep it going, Tom.
Got to go low. Oh, he missed him. This is exciting defence here from Canterbury.
He's got to go in from the corner there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mate, that's the
kick in the teeth.
Yeah, the kick in the teeth.
Kick in the teeth.
I think, now, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, again, I'm not really quite down with the kids. I've got an 11-year-old and a 5-year-old, but I'm pretty sure that my 11-year-old would have said, in terms of basketball, that's called taking it downtown.
Yeah. I'm not sure you're down with the kids, Cammy, but we'll leave you there. No,
you can't leave me with the kids.
Yeah.
That's completely different.
So, Canterbury on the ascendancy there, and they haven't supported well in their one-up runners. That's what's caused them a little bit of trouble there. The guy carrying the ball essentially is hitting the tackle, and he hasn't got support around them to clear the ball, clear the tackler or the second or third Henley player out, who have then gone over, jackled the ball, stolen it, and unfortunately for Canterbury, the chap who's stolen it has got a bloody V6 engine on him, and he's actually motored down the field there.
For a wee man, he's got a lot in that tank.
Yeah. Downhill though, but yeah, it's caused a lot of trouble. Tough kick. Flags don't go up.
That was the second try was London, number 8 for Henley, and takes them to 19-8 in the lead.
Yeah, so 19-8 to Henley. I've always said, Clemmy, and I'll stand by it, and I will die on this hill, that this slope is worth 14 points. And you can string me up and you can do whatever you want, and I will tell you every single day of the week this slope is worth 14 points in 40 minutes. So you know what? To me, that's not
unsurmountable. It's not unsurmountable.
No. It's a terrible point to concede from Canterbury. Well, terrible try to concede from Canterbury because they were the ascendancy.
Ah, boys, kill it if you've lost it. Love a green grass.
Canterbury have fumbled the ball here. Henley on the ascendancy, but Henley do exactly the same. Luckily for Canterbury there was an advantage knock-on called.
I'm not going to lie to you, Limmers. At the moment, I'm not quite as jolly as Father Christmas from watching this.
No, it's not getting me quite. It's not getting me quite as excited as I'd want to. But the building blocks are there. Whether Canterbury can start to, put one or two things together on top of that to start to build possession is another question. But we're getting there. How many times have Canterbury been camped on that 22 in front of us?
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. I think there has been more industry for sure, but it's just we're either forcing things which aren't there, or we're just not doing. Like you've said. How many one-up runners? It's do the job right, boys. You've got to get on his inside shoulder. It's that simple stuff.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be a player in black and amber at the moment. It's not an easy place to be. They all know, every single one of them out there knows that they are good players, and I back them. Every single person out there who's got that black and amber shirt on is a good player. However, it's just not clicking quite right as a team. How you fix that? Well, you know what? That's beyond me. But someone out there has got to put their hand up and go, I'm going to start steering it in the right direction. And that's a cracking line out again from the veterans from Canterbury. Nathan Morris throwing the ball to the 15-metre line.
Hey, you know what? It's not easy to pick up a chap the size of Dave Irvin.
No, and Canterbury are overloading the blind side here. Tommy Williams is slamming
Still
his hands
going
on the back of the player.
I mean, that's not stopped. The referee can't have called once, could he?
No, not yet. No way. Tommy Best, one-up runner. Who's the biggest man in the field? I'll find you. I'm Tommy Best.
It's just that bit there. You start to get a turn. I would just like to see slightly quicker ball from the base. Whoa. Is that Will Whittington coming into the line again?
Yeah, cracking carry. Good push through from Guy Hilton as
well.
Bit
of a dodgy clean out there on Guy Hilton. Oh, blimey.
That's a big hit on Billy.
Maybe that's the only way to get him down. You've got to double up on him. Great call from Frank Morgan.
Drive yourself, Frankie.
Go on, Frank! Go on, Jess, get it down, recycle!
And Canterbury here on the 5 metre in front of us. They're going through the phases. Tom Williams, his accuracy of passing today has been really exquisite.
Yep.
I have to give him that it's been hitting people in the middle of the chest. They've been taking it on at pace.
Oh, wowzers.
Don't worry, Canterbury got the penalty advantage there. So right in front of the sticks. Post, scrum, line, what are we going for?
Well, they might have... I'm not sure if they got it this week, but they might have ref link. No, I think we may well be trying ref mic this week, Limmers. So hopefully, when we want the referee, we want to listen to the referee. I think we can ping into him.
Yeah. Yeah, go for the post.
That's quite a confident statement. There we are, ref mic. Probably just a referee heavy breathing at this point, to be honest with you.
Just admiring the kick. So it's going to be another free from Frankie. If it's not another free, I'll eat your hat, Clemmy. But
that's a good hat, though.
Yeah, I know. It's exciting from Canterbury. They're turning the screw a little bit here. Henley are trying their best in defence, and they're battling them somewhat. But excitingly, as a Canterbury fan, although we're down, and although we're not playing the best rugby that we could play, excitingly to see for us that the Henley tries have come from one-up breakaways.
Yeah, that's true.
So it hasn't been like Canterbury have been sustaining a long period of possession against them. It's that Henley have just got the ball and run bloody quick.
Yeah. What I'm really happy with so far, I've got to say, I'm really enjoying the fact that if we're getting into the 22, if we're not being able to actually get a try, we're happy to now take the points. It's just building the score. Keep yourselves ticking over.
Yeah.
Because it's only going to be a amount of time.
It's a bit of an old cricket adage. Isn't it? Just keep troubling the scoreboard.
Yeah.
As long as you keep turning the numbers over, it starts to put pressure on them. And as we see here again, Canterbury on the ball, pushing up the hill. Quick play.
That's lovely from Frank.
I don't know what Corker's put in their shorts, because these boys are don't look like they're feeling the cold out there today, Clemmy. Crikey.
I'm a little bit concerned about why you're thinking about what's in their shorts, mate. But I can understand what you're saying. They've all had Red Bull or mulled wine.
Yeah, I don't know what they've had, but give me 2 pints of that, please, sir.
Yeah.
Put it on Clemmy's tab.
Maybe not.
Anyway, Canterbury on the ascendancy again, and it's about making these periods of possession pay off.
I got, mate. I said it probably a little bit too much last week, but
sorry, Clem. Here we go. Can we get some ref cam on here? Can we hear what he's saying?
Come on. Yeah. 2 offsides.
That's the old classic one. Take one for the team there, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the number 2 is actually got the yellow card. He's been the most dangerous, I would say, for Henley in defence. So that's probably a really good result for Canterbury.
It is. Just a little bit conservative from Frank. I mean, as of late, in terms of his kicking, it's fantastic. It's almost pinpoint.
Up the hill's a hard place to go. Yeah. I tell you that for free. Up the hill is a hard place to kick, and it's not until you're in the middle of this pitch out here in front of you. We'll do a cameo later in the season.
Oh,
and I'll put my boots on and I'll show you. But it's a hard place to kick.
I'm looking forward to seeing that one, buddy.
That's unfortunate for Canterbury. Knock on in the line out, and Henley are going to get an exit ball here. But Henley's bodies, they're not quick off the floor. The 8 on his haunches there. And Canterbury could have
making a mess.
Half time, they don't like it up them.
No, that was a quick half. Not that it would be quick, because we know it's 40 minutes. 40 minutes isn't quick, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. That, Clemmy.
Yes.
Good rugby.
Loving it. You know what? I've got to say, 8 minutes ago, I said I'm not feeling that jolly. But they picked it up again. 8 points down, going up the hill, against a team who are... There's some monsters out there and there's some quick players. Yeah. I think there's a chance, mate.
How many points do I tell you the hill's worth?
14.
How many points Canterbury down?
8.
Game on.
Did I just count correctly?
You did, yeah, which is unusual. Unusual, but you had to take your socks off to count it and get all your appendages out.
Look, I'm not from a certain island. I don't have extra toes, okay?
I tell you what, that's game on.
It is game on, you're right.
This is a really exciting place to be for Canterbury right now. Okay?
It is.
One criticism I'd have of the boys over the last few weeks is that we've lost games by scores, and then the last 10 or 15 minutes we might have put 2 or 3 back on them, and then all of a sudden the boys come around each other and they go, do you know what, we've done really well the last 10 minutes. Yeah, if we play like that every week we'll win. The problem is, if you put, they're already in the bar, they're already calling up their girlfriends, they're already out on their night out, they're having a great time. Today, Canterbury have done it from the off.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see. Maybe they only like playing in the cold. Who knows?
Who knows? Do you think that Corker would be going in there saying to them, boys, keep doing what you're doing, don't even make any changes now? Or would you, or if I go on the other flip side, would you say, now start putting it in the corners, make them play from deep? How would you...
Okay.
I mean, obviously... You've played at Canterbury a few times, not obviously the first, but obviously the seconds, the thirds, etc., etc. So you've been around the club.
Yeah.
What's the kind of thought processes there?
Okay, so the pattern of play that Canterbury are going to come out in the second half, I'm going to break it to you, isn't going to change.
Okay.
Okay, they're going to go around the corner. They're going to overload the blind side. They're going to go quick through the hands. The difference is going down the hill now, Canterbury have a really big advantage with the hill. As you mentioned, in the last couple of weeks, Frankie has had a really good time with the boot. So, for those of you who don't know what the 50-22 rule is, if you're kicking from inside your own half and it bounces and goes out in their 22, you get the line out, okay? With the hill in Canterbury going down this way, that really, really accentuates the 50-22. So that means the opposition wingers have to drop back so bloody deep, yeah? So, you with me, Clemmy? So the opposition wingers have got to drop back and almost guard, like fullbacks, the line of their own 22. Which means, in attack, Canterbury have got effectively 15 on 13.
Got it.
Yeah, so if they're going to execute the kick once or twice just to prove that they can do it, or that they've got it in their arsenal, all of a sudden the defensive shape from Henley has to change.
So, in terms of that defensive shape, then would the majority of that defensive line? Obviously, for me, I always like to have a nice high line. I like it to be really quick up onto the 9-10, the axis there. So if that keeps happening, and you keep going down, you keep getting your 50-22, does that defensive line start to take an extra step back?
Yeah, completely. So even if they're not going for this kicking option, if you show that you've got it in your arsenal, the defensive setup changes. So we've already mentioned that the two wingers drop. Okay, so you've your two men short in the line, which means that you can't do this blitz defence, which is American football term I don't really like, but it means that the 9, 10, 12, 13 running up like a Usain Bolt out the traps to hit their opposite man, they can't do that, which means you have to do this, what they call a drift defence. So you have to follow your man and watch them wide and don't commit. You know, you're following them all the way along, you're kind of shepherding them towards the touchline.
Yeah.
But all the time that's happening, Canterbury, or whoever it is in the ascendancy down the hill, theoretically have the one-man overlap. Right. You're 14, 15 on 13. Mm-hmm. It's whether Canterbury can then make this pay. So that's another question. When I say it, Clemmy, how easy does it sound?
Well, well, look, it clearly does sound extremely easy, doesn't it? It makes complete total sense. We're going with the idea of that, obviously, you know, you're saying to me that the wingers are going to be dropping themselves further back. Therefore, if you're going to be attacking left to right and then back right to left, spaces are going to open up. You're going to have the opportunity to go wide quick as well.
Yeah, completely.
So actually try and get behind their defensive line. It does make sense. It does sound easy.
Yeah. In practice,
but then that's the tough part, isn't it? That's when, in theory, the hours on the training paddock pay off, right?
Yeah, completely. And you need to have someone at 10 or 9 or 15, whoever, who's going to pick the ball up and execute that first kick, just to put the defensive unit going, actually, you know what, these guys can do that. They can pin us back here. So we need to be a little bit wiser about that.
Yeah.
All the time that you don't do it, they're going to rush up at you and cause you trouble.
Yeah.
It's similar to the lineouts here, you know. You don't have to hit the back jumper every time.
Yeah.
But if you prove that you can, they have to match you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, of course, absolutely.
So, obviously, Canterbury want to hit the front jumper at a line-out. You want to hit the guy at 5 metres because that makes it nice and easy for the hooker. But every now and then, if you throw to Dave Irvine on the 15-metre, that means the opposition have to mark you all the way out, spread their line.
Yeah.
So if you prove you can do it, it makes the opposition spread.
Of course, yeah. It does make complete sense, and it does sound easy. But the tough part is that when you're getting to this situation and Canterbury are still 8 points down, it's going to be about clear heads. It's about clear heads.
Don't tell me about 8 points. How many points is the hill worth?
Oh man, are we going to go through this the whole day? We are, aren't we? 14 points. Okay, so they're 14 points down then, rather than 8. Okay, yeah. But it's about having the clear heads, full hearts, doing the job right,
yeah.
Right?
Friday Night Lights.
You know I love it.
Clear
you know
eyes, full hearts,
can't lose. You know it. I reckon we should get them to start doing that, and they come out. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Right?
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
But I don't think you do because you're smiling when I mentioned it.
So the other day when we played for the Deacons on the pitch behind us up here.
Okay.
We had a ragtag, real bar side, a bunch of lads, all Canterbury boys, but no, we hadn't played together before.
And nobody ever asked me to play. Have you noticed
Yeah,
this?
I know, we went that short.
Okay.
And do you know what? We got together beforehand, and one of the things I said to the boys is, we're going to, whatever the result is, I want everyone to walk off this pitch with a smile on their face, knowing they've enjoyed their rugby. And that's what I want to see from this Canterbury side here. You're going, okay, look, if we lose, we lose. But what you want is everyone to walk off this pitch now after 40 minutes, giving it all, but knowing they've enjoyed themselves and they've left everything they can out there. Anything more than that, you can't ask for.
No, you can't. You can't. I've got something just quickly to chat to you about, buddy. I've been waiting for this as well. I've been waiting for this. So, autumn internationals, they've all been done and dusted.
Yeah.
Okay. We've had sackings galore.
Rightly
Okay.
so, in my opinion. Yeah.
Would our board be silly enough to do anything like that at this point, or will they still keep faith? Because
Wow.
Mate, I know it's a big question, but I'm just saying is that the fact that if things don't plan out well today,
Okay.
and games don't go our way, also we will find ourselves in the bottom two.
So, the nature of the beast of this league is that Canterbury, there's two teams that go down, okay? Canterbury aren't in those bottom two. They will beat those two. Like, the two teams below us in the league, Canterbury will beat them. I'll eat your hat on that.
Yep.
Whether it's going to work for the rest of the season, or the rest of the year, or the next season, and the season after, the way they're playing is that's something to be asked, okay? But we're not going to go down this year. Canterbury won't go down this year. I mean, mathematically they could, but you know when people say teams are too good to go down.
Yep.
This side here is too good to go down.
Yep.
Okay, it's not happening right now. I hate it, and it's so annoying. But go back to that TJ's game at the start of the season. Okay, if the boys are fitter, if they'd worked harder in that post or pre-season like interlude, all of a sudden they'd won that game. The tails are up, and it's a different season. Same players, different season. It's all about momentum.
So really, if we can get the win today,
yeah, this is a huge win.
Then take that down to Judds.
Yeah, amazing win.
Then all of a sudden, January's a completely different kettle of fish, right?
Henley are a big side. You know how good they are
Yeah.
at rugby, Clemmy. I don't need to tell you what Henley are to National 2 rugby. They're a big scalp.
Yep.
Okay, so Henley and Canterbury over the last few years have been really tight games, home and away.
Yep.
If Canterbury take Henley today, do you know what? That's a real rocket right up all of their arses.
Yeah.
And it's a huge scalp to take for Henley. For Canterbury, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not asking for a change in terms of the director of rugby or anything, or the coaching staff. I'm just posing that question out there because it's always around about this time of the year, isn't it, where this kind of stuff starts happening.
No, I agree with you.
And we know it's a result.
The thing you notice about the Canterbury coaching staff is that they're young.
Yeah.
Okay. So Matt Corker put his boots up last year. Alex Veal had to hang his boots up for concussion reasons. If he didn't, and through injury, through his legs. If he didn't have that, he would still be playing.
Yeah.
The rest of the staff aren't that old. We've got older playing members than we do coaching staff. So it makes it a difficult situation. Sometimes you just need an old head to grab them by the scruff of the neck and go, "You're not very bloody good. Fucking turn it up."
Yep.
But so it'll be interesting to see how Canterbury turn out this half. Clemmy,
go for it.
I've made prior arrangement. I'm going to have to leave you for the second half on your own.
That's fine, mate. Not a problem at all.
But do you know what? I'm really, really excited for this 14-point half that I've already told you about.
And I think you're going to leave me on that note, aren't you?
14 points.
14 points. 14 points.
Come on, the berry.
14. So, according to Limmers, who's literally got to shoot now. I mean, he's now. So his predictions already is that the 14 points is the change up in terms of going up and down the pitch. So that's obviously going to give Canterbury, hopefully, ideally, a win by 6. So you've heard it here. It's on Limmers. It's on Limmers if it doesn't work, as he's walking away from me. So start second half. unfortunately, a little bit of a knock on there from Canterbury. Scrum down. Canterbury was just around about 5 yards outside their 22. Probably not where you want to be. And obviously, players just had to stop here because they've got their hooker. The Henley hooker, he's off in the bin as the yellow card, so they're just having to change a player up now. Can't see the player they're taking off there. Looks like they have taken off their flanker. So that will obviously, in theory, depower the Henley scrum. So you should be hoping for a fairly decent shove here from Canterbury.
Henley, Tom Emery.
Ball in, big shove from Canterbury, as expected, because of the power in the scrum. The referee has given a crazy call there, trying to say that Canterbury have turned it purposefully. There is absolutely no reason on God's green earth as to why Canterbury would then try and turn that scrum. They've depowered the scrum. They've got more power in there. I have absolutely no idea why the referee has given that call. It's absolutely ludicrous. Off camera, guys, you couldn't quite see what Matt Corker was saying, but he was saying something fairly similar to me, but in a slightly bluer fashion. Why would we turn it? Anyway, it's a full penalty here for Henley, so they're going to be trying to just obviously push themselves further ahead here. It's a nice strike from the kicker. Just pulled it slightly to the left there. So Canterbury the 22. And this is where me and Limmers will be having these constant conversations here. One of us saying go long with the 22 kick. One of us will be saying no, make it competitive. For me, I'd always just want to get that ball, slap it down the hill, make them play from there. It's what he's done. Henley still attacking left to right, right to left. Little knock on there from their number 12 though. Canterbury do technically have the ball. Referee's now called it for the scrum. So Canterbury ball here at this scrum. Just inside the Henley half. Canterbury ball. If you notice, the scrum's turned again there. The referee's not given anything. He's now going, oh, it's now just moved around a bit on the axes. Ball's at the back of the scrum. Canterbury are going forward. I have absolutely no idea what this referee is calling. So reset. It's also quite clever work here by the Henley pack. Obviously, you keep doing this. You're obviously just whittling down the yellow card clock as well. So it's really quite very, very clever gamesmanship here. And the ball's in. Ball's at the back. Canterbury ball. It's a nice line from Will Wellington. Again, very concerned we're not quite getting our players there quick enough, our support players. Tommy Best doing what he does best. Oh, that's an awful pun, isn't it? Interesting call there from the referee. Saves a knock on, saying that the ball was actually open and was able to be stolen or jackled. He's knocked it on there. Another Canterbury scrum. Again, it just keeps rolling down the time on the yellow card clock. Again, whilst we were just in that lull of play, just want to re-mention our match sponsor today is Harwood, with the ball sponsors of B&M, BTF Partnership, Cave Hotel and Golf Resort, and DDS Group. Hopefully, if I keep mentioning the Cave Hotel and Golf Resort plenty of times, they'll give me a free membership. Pigs here at the scrum, unfortunately. Ball's been getting tight. Referee has called it as a half penalty to Henley. It's an easy out, unfortunately, for Henley. Straight flat kick. Will Waddington up. Good secure hands. Canterbury now needs to just build through the phases. Cracking line there. Really lovely line from, was it number 6? That's Jacob Dengate. Great line. There's a dirty high up and under there. Collected by the Henley fullback. He's bounced off 1 or 2 tackles before he runs into Billy Young. He ain't going to get very far from that. Canterbury line just need to keep fanning themselves out. Just seeing there's a few gaps along that defensive line. Cam Murray there just holding the player up. Big knock on. Canterbury to play still. Ball still Canterbury's. Can they play? Can they make something from it? Wait for the pick up. Great pick up by Tom Halliday. Outside to Frank Morgan. Aims to run through his opposing number. Danny Herriot, ball out the back to Reynolds. Big carry from Dave Irvine. They need to have support players there to clear them out. Penalty coming. Outside there. That's some cracking feet there by young Hilton. Still got the ball. Calling back for... so they're saying that Guy Hilton was actually down on the tackle and he's gone back up. So they've gone back for the penalty. Good stuff from Canterbury. Wanting to make the attack. Wanting to go from left to right. Still no score in the second half. Frank Reynolds has gone for the kick for the corner. Ideally, they'd be looking for probably a front jumper. Down and then just rolling that lovely rolling ball over for the try. Just making a change here. Guy and Frank Morgan just switching wings again. Gone for the short little tap. Down to the front. Canterbury ball still. Forwards needs to just tidy this one up here. Need to get the runners with the supporters. Get that push over. He's standing up. He's close as. Only a yard away. Ball's really slow. Henley are all offside. Really out wide, deep pick up. Frank Morgan finish it? No. Love a Pete. Oh, that's into the bin as well. So Henley are going to be back up to 15 men. Oh, that is frustrating. There were plenty of options open there for Canterbury, but they've decided to go for this long, lofted pass. The distance wasn't there, so the bounce had to be good from the ball. The pickup was fine and dandy for me from Guy Hilton, but the Henley defensive line had swarmed over to that side already, had no chance of being able to score from there. In my opinion, should have kept it in hand, should have kept playing it through the forwards, get close to the sticks themselves and just rumbled over. For me, I don't think we can keep having chances like this going begging. Henley just about clear their lines, not too far, still inside their 22. As the sun's going down here, guys, the temperature's just beginning to drop a little bit more. Lost ball from Canterbury from the line out. Henley's ball. Bouncing across. They're going to attack out wide. Trying to find that inside shoulder to attack. Defence is holding resolute at the moment. Still mindful just where they are. Just want to make sure the guards are set at the side of the rucks there. Slow ball at the back here. Henley with the clearance. So that's completable. Will Waddington's gone up brilliantly. Made more than a few yards. Broke 2 or 3 line tackles. Frank Reynolds spinning out wide. Nathan Morris. Brick Oliver. Outside. Tom Halliday's going to have to cut back inside. Nice quick ball. You want quick ball again, Canterbury. Need to keep spreading the Henley defence left and right. The ball's got to be quick. Frank Reynolds outside. Inside ball to Frank Morgan. Ball is still there. It's just been slowed up. Henley doing a fantastic job with their D-line at the moment. The ball's out. Oh, no. What's he called there? Referee's call.
He's rolled it back in.
That needs to be looked at.
Sealing off.
I'll ask the
Pass, he's didn't hit and his head hit the floor.
I'll ask the question if we've seen anything.
So it's
Okay.
09, I just had
Yeah,
it
that's
hit.
fine. We'll ask the question. Anything on that after the last?
Sealing off at the breakdown.
So nothing there. The
Again,
timing was good.
those
Okay,
kind of
fine.
calls wouldn't be happening.
One behind you, guys. Time off. Time is.
Canterbury with the Canterbury there, just under a little bit of pressure, to be honest with you. I don't think they really needed to cough up the ball where they did. When you get to a situation like that and you're getting called for sealing off, it just means clearly you've got to the breakdown too late. Your support runners aren't there. Really frustrating. Been some really good stuff so far in this second half for Canterbury. Just haven't been able to actually find that final pass or that line through. Ball to the back of the line there for Henley. Seems to be a bit of a winner for them. He's running to an absolute brick wall there. Great hit. Looking for an inside pass and a forward pass. As I said earlier, guys, the temperature's just beginning to drop here. The sun's going in. And I can tell you now, the 7 layers ain't working for me. I'm probably going to end up with trench foot by the time I'm finished tonight. Change at 9, Tommy Williams coming off and Ben Cooper coming on. Let's hope Ben just injects some more pace as well. I mean, Tom Williams had a fantastic game today, but the only reason why you really make these changes for scrum off is just purely to pick the pace up again. I mean, he has done a hell of a shift so far, Tom Williams.
to Canterbury.
Canterbury full penalty at the scrum. Not entirely convinced the referee's entirely seeing what he should be seeing in the scrum. I think there's a lot of times where the referee seems to just interpret what they think is happening rather than knowing what's actually happening. But happy with it. It's a full penalty to Canterbury. Frank Morgan with a nice kick down there, getting close towards their 22. Let's hope that the line out holds well on this one. I don't know if you can hear it down there, but that, on the opposite side there where the ball's coming in, that's the side of the bar. Get to start hearing the Canterbury City men giving the call out for the players. Nathan Morris with the ball in. Oh, it's a lovely lobbed ball over there to the second pod. Inside to Brick Oliver. He's found a great line. Ball slightly slow coming out the back. Danny Harriott with a big roll up. Clearance is good. Ball could have been slightly better from Ben Cooper. On the back step now. Wilmington's on his own. Referee has called here for holding on, so it's a full penalty. Now, me being a very old-fashioned loose head prop, I'll be looking for a little tap here and go. He's going for the points. Again, this is where me and Limbers will be having a discussion saying, would you go for the points? Would you be looking at going for the try? For me, I just think you're slightly on the ascendancy. I think, you know what? Go for it, boys. Don't be conservative on this one. Be conservative when you're going uphill and you're just trying to get points on the board. But you're going downhill. You've got to build it. Come on, boys. Frank Morgan getting his final lineup of sights here. Skadooch and straight over there. Canterbury now 14, Henley 19. It's a 5-point game here.
Canterbury 14, Henley 19.
Canterbury want to be getting a decent restart here. They want to get the ball. They want to be able to actually recycle it and get themselves down that field. Couple of replacements for Henley. Quite a lengthy change there. Decent restart. Brick Oliver, lovely pick up and carry. Cracking stuff, Brick. Keep it going, pal. No, damn you. Brick Oliver's just been called there for holding on as he's got into tackle. I'm not convinced by this. If I'm Henley, am I going for the corner? Am I going for points? Going for the corner. I mean, this will be the perfect response to Henley, for Henley, from obviously just going, conceding 3 points from the penalty. The question is, do Canterbury go up, or do they get ready to try and sack the maul as it comes down? It's a tough one to call. You never know which way to go here. Did he get Jesse up? Jesse did. Oh, come on. Really? Shocking call. Just said the lift was then lifting across the line out there. I think that's more where he finished rather than the actual lift, sir, but there we are. Kick for the corner. Henley be looking for something fairly similar, I'm going to guess. Referee's just having a quick chat to the lifters for Canterbury, just re-advising on that. More often than not, if you're having to lift and go across the line, it means that the throw's not being straight in the first place. Canterbury have set them all up. They're driving well. Just starting to slightly splinter it through here. Ball stops a couple of yards short. They'll probably be looking for just the close pass with the. It's really been broken down at the breakdown. Canterbury really slowing it down. It's not quick ball here. Canterbury needs to be getting off the line quick, making the hits, making them count. Defensive line needs to set themselves again. Make sure there's nothing been able to be sniped on either side. No additional yards there for Henley. Ball out. That D-line's got to come up slightly quicker. The hit's got to be good. It's got to be a positive hit. They've set deeper on this one. They've got a plan outside, out wide. Oh, he's balls it right up there. Knock on there. The ball was not entirely great. He put their winger under serious pressure. The pass should have been better. Had to try and collect on his feet. No joy, not today. Wasn't going to happen. Time off here. We've got a Henley player down. Don't know if we can get the ref mic up.
I'll tell you what I've seen first. I've got Blue on the floor first, and then they were on the floor.
No, he's
Because of
What he
the
said.
angle he's come in,
Okay.
and he's bang.
okay.
So
We've
the
had
number
20.
8 for Henley there. So I'm just going to quickly go whilst the referee's walking over because the ref mic is still on. He's just going over there. He's just trying to convince the referee, trying to advise him that Canterbury have done some level of skullduggery there. Now, it's a classic situation where it is what you would naturally do because you want to try and convince the referee that you guys are whiter than white and it's your opponents who are causing all the issues.
Borderline.
Yeah. You alright?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're good, sir.
Thanks.
Obviously, for seeing
I thought you
yeah.
cracked your neck off.
Scrum, Canterbury's here.
Replacement for Henley, Tom Hall.
What we'd really love to see here from Canterbury is not what we spoke about in the first half, how Henley went from their own try line down to score themselves. So we want to see something like that from Canterbury here. Ball in, Canterbury's ball. Good drive from Canterbury. Classic stuff here at scrum time. Henley trying to convince the referee that it was all them doing the great work. It was their scrum. They were amazing. Big effort now. Big effort now from Canterbury. Referee's just checking Henley to make sure they're driving straight and they can see all their shoulders. And set. And ball is in. Great scrum. Yes, Canterbury! Yes, boys! Canterbury driving absolutely straight. The moment the pressure came on, Henley did not want a piece of it. Fantastic effort from the front. Front row, fantastic stuff. Good clearance kick by Frank Reynolds. Let's see if we can now get ourselves down the end of this pitch. Get this try. Remember, guys, all this wonderful commentary and streaming is brought to you from MMS 360 Media. I'm sure there's plenty of you at home with your feet up, blanket on, drinking a glass of mulled wine, nice and warm, watching the wonderful stream that we get here. Deep back ball there to Dan, to Mr. Irvine. Ball into Brick, Tyler Oliver. Great yards. He's there. Just need to build through the phases now, Canterbury. Nothing too silly. Let's just keep ourselves going. A testing up and under from Frank Reynolds coming out of the deep dark sky back down into the Marine Travel Ground. Referee's called something there. Couldn't see what the call was.
He's in a dangerous area then, isn't he?
I might be able to go hold of him.
That's it, they're in last possession.
Sorry, can I carry on this line? So she's telling me to move. Sorry, so she's telling me to stay, you're telling me to move.
Okay, yeah, fine. We'll get the middle. We just need you in the middle of the gap.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm happy, so I'll move to it. Like what we did.
No, that's fine.
Again, a message for them.
Yeah, we'll just get him into the middle. Just best of both, yes. Have we got a sub for this player? Is he on already? Thank you, time back on.
See to Henley. My guess is we must have had players offside. But what's more worrying there is a Henley player had to go off there. He's not looking too good at all. So it looks like it might have actually been a knock-on with that scrum down, unless Henley have called it. Again, hard to get the full footage from where we're up for, obviously for my line of sight to see. But I'm very sure that you guys at home have been able to kind of piece together what happened there for me. Scrum down. You want another huge scrum now from Canterbury. They want to get that drive again. They've just got a penalty. They need to go again. Great first shove. Good shove. Fantastic. Great effort from the pack. Great stuff. Great stuff, and you can tell that the rest of the team loved that. Tom Halliday in there in particular giving a whole heap of bum slaps to the players. The question is, what do you do now? Times are ticking. You know, have you got time to go for the penalty to then march back down the field and go for a second, or are you going to have to now play for it? Looks like Frankie Reynolds is eyeing up a touchline finder here. Looks like it's just outside the 22. Maybe a yard, maximum outside the 22. Huge line out now. If Canterbury can secure this line out, good forward ball, drive them back, get this try. Change over in the midfield. Guy and Frank Morgan are moving inside. It's a plan. It's lost at the line out. Frank Reynolds with a pick up. He's done extremely well to get himself back there. Frank Morgan out wide to Will Waddington. That's on. The ball is on. It's got a little clip through from the Henley players. Canterbury ball again. Great pick up. Canterbury's ball. Can they secure it? They can. Ball to Jake Dengate. Secure again. He's got to get in there. Got to get the clearance right. Frank Reynolds just starting to orchestrate things here. Good ball inside and out. I tell you, Danny Herriot's had a cracking game today. Frank Reynolds inside. Tom Halliday trying to find the space, trying to just find that weak shoulder to attack. Ben Cooper with the ball back out. Another big carry came from Jake. Ball is there. Frank Reynolds having to take that one a little bit lower than he'd like for sure. Tommy Best outside Will Waddington. Will Waddington found some space. He's beaten one, he's beaten two, looking for a quick ball, deep ball. Brave from Frank Reynolds there. Referee calling. Holding on. Full penalty to Henley. Henley going to get themselves out of jail here. Ball has not found touch there. Straight back in. Giles Hilton with a Guy hit him with a great carry. Dave Irvine, hard yards. It's a little bit running too laterally for my liking. Just straighten the line up. Cam Murray with a good carry. Frank Reynolds out to the back. Tom Halliday, great step and go from Tom Halliday. Get with him, boys. Keep it going, boys. Pump, pump, pump. What's the referee calling there? Ball's ripped out. Try to see what the referee's called there. Ball certainly seemed to be lost in the tackle as he went in, but the ball then was literally then coughed up. I couldn't see what the referee's definitely called from here. It's time off.
Canterbury from the replacements bench, Harvey Ferner comes onto the back row.
Harvey Furnow's come in now for the background. He's a fantastic young player. Saw him during pre-season. Looks like a fairly decent ball carrier. Ball's coming in now. Canterbury's ball, it's still secured. Henley turning it. Again, the referee hasn't really got grips on this. This is where you've got to ask yourself the question, why on earth would the team on the ascendancy going forward then want to turn the scrum? Doesn't make sense to me, referee. Does seem to be taking an age to get these scrums reset at the moment. It's very clever work, because if it is Henley's work in doing that, they're obviously, you know, taking the time away from Canterbury. It's very clever. Great camera work here from MMS 360 Media. Ball's in. Canterbury on the march. Got to give the full penalty. Absolutely. Can we play? Can we play? Back for the penalty. I'm going to assume that Canterbury are going to go for exactly the same thing again here. Scrum, scrum, scrum. Line out for Canterbury here. We've got to make this one stick. Last line out, just on the other side of the pitch, didn't go to plan, so let's hope this one does. Quick ball, Dave Irvine. He reaches. Oh, he's short. He's short. In my opinion, he was definitely short. This is the commentator's curse. Please prove me wrong. Referee's going over to chat to the touch judge. As always, they go, did you see anything?
No grounding, so we're going to attack his 5 metre scrum. So we've got no grounding. It's a 5 metre scrum attacking ball.
No try. Scrum down. Canterbury ball. That's probably one of the first times, guys, in the last 10 years I've seen a referee go over to the touch judge, talk about whether or not a try should be given, and actually not give it. I've got a funny feeling, but if the referee hears this commentary back, he's not going to be sending me a Christmas card this year. So the last 3, maybe 4 scrums now, it's been Canterbury, 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 with or without the ball. Big shout from just behind me from our chairman with a big come on Canterbury. Ball in. The drive is there. They're going backwards. Keep it in. Keep it at the back of the scrum. Keep it going. Keep it shifting. We've got the penalty. At some point, he's going to have to give the right decision. The decision has got to be, if it keeps going on like this, you go underneath the posts, it's a penalty try. Come on, man. You can't leave it here, Canterbury. Not today. Not today. It might be cold around the ground, but the rugby today has been red hot on the pitch. Henley taking an absolute age to get themselves set for the scrum. Ball in, Canterbury's there. Henley with the initial shove. Canterbury reversing it. Referee, what are you calling now, man? How many times can they keep resetting?
Guys, to make this very simple, we keep our binds and we go forward to be rewarded. Space is fine. Back on.
If you're watching it from home, do not stop watching this stream. Don't turn off your laptop. Don't turn off your TV, your smart TV, because it's been an absolute belter, and I still think there's something left in this game. Canterbury down by 5 on the ascendancy at the scrum. This is the 5th reset. Henley trying, look at that again. The loose head doesn't want it. You cannot give it away. Referee, it's a shocking decision. An absolute shocker here. The tight head folded in on purpose. It's clear the TJ's seeing it, doesn't know what he's viewing, doesn't call it. Henley getting out of jail free here. Ball still in play. He was off the ground. There can't be much more left here. Maybe 3 minutes tops, 2 at the max. Henley have whittled away the clock brilliantly with gamesmanship at scrum time throughout the whole of this second half. They've got themselves out of jail here. Canterbury have got to get up, got to get their hands on the ball, march it down 30 yards down the pitch and score. What can they do here? What can the Canterbury men do here? Clearance kick. Will Wellington's calling for it. He's missed it on the bounce. Tapped back by Frankie Reynolds. Canterbury ball. Recycle. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Big Owen O'Donoghue's on the pitch here now. You've got to play, boys. You've got to play. That is a horrible kick from Franklin. Fantastic energy from their fullback to get round to collect it. D-line's got to be good. Canterbury's line is good. So good up front hit there. Bricks holding him up, trying to rip him as he goes. Good defensive set, boys. Keep it going. No real positive yards from Henley here, going backwards. Backwards down the hill. Looking for Henley to make that mistake, make that knock on, make that cough up. Seal it off at the breakdown. Referee, give us anything. Henley doing so well going through the phases. They know they can't make a mistake. They're going to want to go through the phases until they know it's the last play. Box kick there from the scrum half. Frank Reynolds under it. Safe hands to Will Waddington, trying to find space. Cracking handoff from Will. He's not held. Keep going, big man. Ball out to Frank Reynolds. Having to take it in. Referee's called a full penalty. Is there time? And hopefully, as he'll be asking the question, he's going to have to want to stick it down in the corner as far as he can. Can the Canterbury men give us all a Christmas present to go home to from this? Line out one. Frank Reynolds. Inside to Tom Halliday, I think, with a big carry there. Ben Cooper's reversed the play. Ball still there. Canterbury ball. Keep making the yards, boys. Nothing silly. Billy Young again. I think that's Billy Young again with another carry today. Referee's looking. He knows there's some skullduggery going on the floor there by Henley. Danny Herriott with another carry. Back inside ball, trying to attack the other shoulder. I think we're up to phase 8 or 9 now. Nothing silly, nothing silly. Find the space, find the space. Get with the runner, clear, clear, clear. Is it on out wide? Rebuild and recycle. Full penalty, that referee's arms out again. Come on, boys. Frank Reynolds having a show and go himself. Referee's coming back to the penalty.
Okay, so that was 12 not rolling.
Yeah.
We've got 2 million across the whole park, okay?
Okay.
We need to sort discipline. What's that?
Number 2 not rolling
Yeah,
away
we've
was
got
the call
injuries.
from the referee. Boys, please, please, please take the scrum. You know you're better than them. I apologise to anyone who's watching this from Henley for my slightly biased view here, but when you've been up here throughout the whole season, you just want to see a home win before Christmas. Seeing what Canterbury's called here. Going for the line out. No, the tap. The tap. Little tap to Billy Young. I love a little tap penalty. Got to find the spaces. You've got to recycle that ball, boys. Latch on and drive. Latch on and drive. Referee, now what are you calling? Referee's just called play there for a scrum as he seemed to have got in the way of the on-rushing Canterbury men. I do hope this doesn't strangely play out well for Henley now with the referee getting involved. Billy Young and Danny Herriott have been absolutely immense today. Can these boys finish it off up front with this scrum? Huge, huge scrum now for Canterbury. Win this. Good ball. Good lines. get under the sticks, get the win. Early engagement, if you ask me, there from Henley. Referee's calling for the reset. Anyone who says that scrums are the most boring part of rugby are absolutely insane. 16 men locking down together, shoving, trying to shove each other off the ball. This is rugby. Canterbury ball to come in. Ball is in. What are you calling now, ref? What I'd love to see is I'd love to see the Henley 8 stop talking in the referee's ear. He's done it all game. There's no issue with Danny Herriot. He knows what he's doing, ref.
No conversation.
Just chat to the other guy.
I need improvements. 9. Come on, Ben.
Henley, as always, taking an absolute age to get themselves down and ready. Oh, sweet Lord. Come on, you foxes. Bind set. Ball's in. Canterbury ball. It's secure. It's definitely a call. Something's going on there. Recycle, recycle. Ball's there. Go with the runners. Nice hands across from Danny Herriot, just shipping the ball out. Canterbury ball still. Good hit from the Henley. The line was good, but they span out wide. That's a knock on. You're going to play, boys. You've got to play. You've got to play. I'm not entirely too sure what to say there, guys. That's the end of the game here. Referee's called it. Henley are delighted. Canterbury aren't.
Congratulations to Henley. Great defensive effort there.
Not too sure what to say there, guys. To be honest with you, it's Henley 19, Canterbury 14 at the end of today's game. Another horrifically tough loss here for Canterbury at the Marine Travel Ground. That was a half of just pure, unadulterated Canterbury attack, wave after wave, scrum after scrum. And yet Henley have somehow held firm and will be going away with 4 points from today's game. Sport is tough and it's all about fine margins, and man, that is one of those. That's one of those losses which is probably going to hurt quite a lot. I mean, we've said that before this season. We had the Dorking game down here. You know, the final play of the Dorking game, it didn't go our way. We've had issues when we've had Tonbridge up here earlier on in the season. But that one in particular, that was Canterbury's there. And I just can't quite understand. I can't quite understand as to how you can have such ascendancy at the scrum time after time after time, and you keep getting given a penalty by it before the referee's actually going to march underneath the posts and give the penalty try. It's a bit of one to take here, guys, because for the entirety, really, I suppose, if we look at the game as an entirety, I can't see at any point Canterbury should have come away without the win. It is going to hurt them. but I'm sure they will find the positives in it. I mean, the scrum was immense today. Danny Herriot in particular for me, along with Billy Young, but I think Danny Herriot, Will Waddington, Tom Halliday all had fantastic games out there. And that is a real kick in the proverbials, I'm afraid. So what have we got to come? Well, we've still got another game here to come. Not here, but we've got another game before Christmas away at Tonbridge Julians. Don't really know exactly how that one's going to play out. Can we reverse what they did to us up here earlier on this season? Well, I certainly hope so. The industry was there today from the boys, and they were attack-minded. We started quickly compared to how we have done in the previous games, but yeah. Just wasn't to be. It's a tough one here. I think what we'll try and do in a moment or two is we'll try and get Matt Corker over here. I mean, it is painfully cold up here now. I think we must be into the minus figures, and I'm sure that the boys will want to get into the warmth as quick as they can, because it's quite cold out here. It is quite perishing. What can I say about Henley? Well, they came with a game plan. They executed it. The moment they felt themselves under pressure, they were extremely good with their gamesmanship. And what I mean by that is the way in which they were able to slow down the play when they needed to. And, I don't think I've ever seen scrums take so long to reset. I just really don't know how the referee called that one. Really strange. But they took their chances when they came. I mean, in the first half, their tries didn't come from a large amount of pressure and a large amount of phases being accumulated. They did just come from them seeing an opportunity and sniping. Two of their tries, if I can remember correctly, are coming from, well, we had one which was a missed tackle. The other one was just literally no guard at the base of the ruck. And this is how teams will hurt you, and they have hurt us here today. Henley will be going back home all the way round to Oxfordshire on a bus filled with merriment, probably a fair amount of beer and wine and whatever else they might like to drink. They'll be so happy with that win. That means a lot for them, and I do believe, I might have to check back on the stats, but I think that might be their first away win of the season. So they've now got 2 back-to-back wins with their win at home against Rochford 100 last week. And obviously now the game here as well. They'll be going into their next game buoyed, very happy, and I would expect them to probably win their last game before Christmas. What can we expect from Canterbury? Hard to say, really. It was a very different game from our men today because, as I said earlier, they started quick, really looked to play out wide as quick as we can. And the scrum was so good, but this one is going to be a strange one, and I'm sure our coaching setup, which is really fantastic down here, I'm sure that they will pick the boys up. They will find plenty of positives in this, and they will then try to push on, for the game against Tonbridge Julians later on next week. Hopefully, we're going to have our DOR Matt Corker come over to have a little chat with us. I was hoping that my lucky Christmas jumper, this lovely thing here, was going to bring us some luck. It didn't. So, never mind. I think I might have just burned that one, perhaps. Just waiting now for Matt Corker to come over. He's just literally, obviously, just giving the boys a little bit of a pep talk, a little bit of a kind of bum slapping, hugs here, there, and everywhere. I think he'll be fairly upbeat. He will be, without a shadow of a doubt, upset by what's happened. Nobody likes winning and losing. But he always has some really nice insight for us, so we're just going to try and bring him over. I think he's Matt Corker's just going to have a quick chat with one of his other coaching members of staff, Feely, before he comes over to us. So Matt Corker is just about to come over to us now and have a little chat in reference to how the game's gone. I didn't have a chance to chat to him earlier on in the week this week, unfortunately. We're almost like passing ships in the night up here at the club. But just interesting to see what his thought processes are on how they now progress to go against Tonbridge Juddians next week. So it's going to be interesting to have a little chat with him. Here he comes, buddy. I have a mic for you, sir.
Oh, look at that. Thank you very much.
How are you? I do believe it's on, as I've just been told by the guys behind me. So, buddy, considering how cold it is and my toes are frozen, there was some really red-hot rugby being played out there. I, again, being an old loose head, you being in the second row, loving scrum time, I just couldn't quite work out. And again, we don't like to blame the referees because that's like the kind of the dishonest way of doing it. But I couldn't kind of work out how many times we could win a scrum, get a penalty for it, go back to it, reset. They were obviously doing what they need to do in terms of game management before he was going to put his arm up and walk underneath the sticks. Weird, no? Or am I viewing it in a different way?
No. I think that's credit to the pressure from the front row boys. I thought Billy, Danny, and Nathan had just a phenomenal game today. Billy and Dan playing 80 minutes, just going all the way through, and even in that right to the end, really going for it. And yeah, I'll be interested to see Dave's disallowed try. From what I'm hearing, that was over the line, which referees and the touch judges have got a really difficult job. Don't get me wrong, but we do feel like we're coming out on the wrong side of a couple of these decisions every week at the moment. And that said, I think it's very important that we don't make ourselves victims, because we had a lot of opportunities that we haven't made. The line out didn't function. The defence put us under a lot of pressure, and when we did get an opportunity to maul, we didn't finish them off. So it's been a few weeks for us since we've had a maul try, and it needs to be a source of points in this league. It's very important, and we have been doing a bit more work. I think there's a bit more to come from us in that area. But we've been talking this week about my sort of thing to the lads was about showing you're in pain, because we've had 4 weeks where we've not been where we expect ourselves to be, and the results in terms of how far we've been too far away come the final whistle, and today to be within a score and have as much possession, it is very disappointing. And the boys are they are heartbroken. That's because they know how well they played. Like, we've had some really bad starts to the game, and to score first, that was just a real step forward for us, and obviously really pleasing for me to see the lads come out firing and just be so effective. And I think we blew them away, but a bit of an easy score, don't get our ruck defence, 9 finds a hole, and we sort of let them back in. But that said, we did more than enough for us to win that, and it's just us actually executing.
I think for where we were watching it here, it's that it felt it was one of those games where they didn't seem to really get very high phase counts at all. They didn't seem to be remotely threatening, in my opinion. And it was just the tries they scored were just one-off opportunities, like one missed tackle, as you said about the ruck defence. That's your second try.
The third one, he went the length. It's almost a 14. It's almost like a 14-point swing, because I feel like we're building the pressure in a really good position, a couple of metres from the line, and I couldn't quite see how we managed to lose the ball in that area. But then to not only to lose it, but obviously you're invested in the attack at that point. That said, we scrambled pretty well, and we definitely had opportunities to stop it. But really very disappointing to work so hard for our own points, but then to give them those.
Do you think that, for us, it felt like to me there was almost a completely different mindset in the team in this game in particular to the last one? Obviously, the last one was Dorking down there. the final, almost final play last time where they obviously they got the win. But the idea, the mindset, just to attack, go left to right, trying to obviously spread their defence, find the holes was fantastic. It was like watching a Canterbury, which you were part of when we went up. It was lovely to see. I think that Frank Reynolds is just now beginning to be this cracking little playmaker, which I'm sure you guys knew he always was, but we didn't quite see it. So his confidence is up, isn't it?
Absolutely. No, I think I might have said this before, but Frank grows every week as our attack leader, and he's a real threat on the ball. We sort of spent a bit of time this week talking about what are our strengths. Like I truly believe, like the key to us winning is using our strengths, and we moving the ball, playing at pace. That's us at our best, and I actually think when we do that, we are terrifying. We just need that bit of ice, and I think after like a 20, 30, 40, even 50 metre line break, the focus has to be the ball, retention. We're getting turned over far too many times. They had a couple of guys sweeping behind the line, especially their 7, and he got so much success from ball placement, and we've done a lot of work on it as well, and these are the really small parts of the game that don't take lots of skill but are very influential, and that's something that we need to have an appreciation of, because ultimately losing possession in the 22, you've worked very hard to get there, someone then kicks it 30-40 metres up the pitch and it's their line out, and it's a very different picture.
There's plenty of positives, I think, from the game in particular. I'm sure you guys are going to pick up on it throughout the whole of next week, going down and obviously down to Judd's, obviously weather depending, because obviously we know it's an interesting pitch down there anyway at the best of times. You still, obviously, you got all the coaching staff still positive, ready for this, because people will start. I mean, we're hearing it as we kind of walk around, and you can hear people going, "Oh no, it's getting close." We're down where we shouldn't be, but I can only find the positives at the moment from the last 2 games. I know the Dorking one didn't quite go as we wanted, and again today didn't, but there's huge growth.
I say this to lads: we've got everything we need. Like, we're in charge of our own destiny. If we didn't have the ability to do the things that we do to the standards we do, I would be, I think we would have a problem. But we actually have all the tools at our disposal. It's just being able to use them and finish. That's it. And we're a dangerous team when we go high in the face count. That's rugby union. And if we come up with errors and turnovers before we've managed to actually stress them and build pressure, you're not going to win.
Yeah. So I hope everything goes well next week.
Thank you very much.
Obviously. We look forward to seeing you in the next home game back here.
Yeah.
In January.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too,
Cheers,
buddy.
mate. See you later.
Have a good one. Take care now, mate. So, guys, that was our lovely DOR Matt Corker there chatting to us about today's game. What I really just want to kind of pick up is just the way in which he is so positive about continuing to try and push this club where he thinks that they should be and he knows they should be. I don't think it's going to be too long at all before we get a huge turnaround and we will start getting multiple wins back to back, and we'll have a fantastic end to the season. So let's push on here now through till 2023. This is the last time you're going to see me this year. I hope that you guys have really enjoyed so far what we've done here with MMS 360 Media. The streaming's getting better and better. I'd like to hope and think that the commentary's getting better and better. And all I can say is I wish every one of you a wonderful Christmas, a fantastic New Year, and I hope that all the special moments which come at this time of the year, I hope you keep them close to your heart, hold on to them as long as you possibly can, and raise a glass for the Canterbury boys. Take care now, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, and I'll see you in the 2023.